Welcome to the country. So I've been needing to give you guys a garden update for a couple of weeks now, but I've just been too busy trying to go out and catch some fish, so I thought I'd give you guys a break from that today and take you guys over to the garden, show you how everything's going and how everything's growing, kind of a few things that I'm doing over there. I'm right in the middle of planting out my okra right now, so I want to show you guys exactly how I'm doing that. And just kind of do a little quick walkthrough today. I'm going to try to spend most of the week this week trying to get caught up on the garden chores and get that thing completely planted out, hopefully. So just give me a few minutes to get over to the garden and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm going to start by planting a spot where the okra is going to be. And this is my kind of low impact spot. I have 100 holes, I think, in this area here. This is 36 by 48 is the area. All the holes are dug on 3 by 3 centers. And I do not tarp this area, or I haven't tarped it. It grows up in grass between the rows. And all I do is come in and I dig out the spot where I dug last year. I filled my hole with potting soil and compost and that type of stuff and planted my plants in there. So this hole right here that you see, or you can't see, but there's a hole right there. Make sure you guys are on it because it's hard for me to even tell, and I know where it's at. So I'm taking my little shovel here. Remove the grass that's growing. So you can see there that is not native soil under there. So what I like to do is just kind of turn it over a little bit. It's a little bit low, so I think I'm going to add a little bit to it. Now this has my my worm compost in it. And I'll mix this around just a little bit, kind of get that worked in. And I'll show you my worm bin here in just a second. Get my okra. Drop him in the middle, cover him up, and there we go. There's the okra planted. I have about half of this spot still to plant. So I'm just going to go through here and dig out those holes, refresh them, put some compost in there, kind of help feed the plant a little. And get these okra plants all planted out hopefully this week. So there's an okra planted in my definitely no-till garden here. I'll show you, if you look around, you see this is all grass here, guys. Except the ones that I've already done, you can see how I've dug them out. 3 by 3 centers, there's a hole there. And I'll show you guys too, on the front, I planted my sunflowers. So here are my sunflowers. There. So I have different types of sunflowers planted. Here's one that's doing really good. So there's the sunflowers. Let me walk you guys over to the other part of the garden where I do have it tarped and show you what I got going on over here. I may take you guys off the tripod. Here, let me take you guys off the tripod. It'll be easier for me to maneuver around. Show you this. So here is the area. This area is I think it's 24 by 48, and I'm not using the last quarter of it. It's tarped, and I'm trying to kill the Bermuda grass under there, so I don't really have anything planted in the last part. But here I have peppers, summer squash, and tomatoes, and a few melons going. Everything's kind of at different stages. You got the squash plants like this. Look right here. There's a ladybug right there. I don't know if you can see that, guys. There's a ladybug right there. There's a pepper plant there. Looks like it's getting ready to flower. Here's a squash that's just emerged. And in some of these holes, like right here, I just planted these squash yesterday. So I'm trying to kind of, you know, stagger my planting so I don't have everything coming in at once. Here's one, guys, that's already got one on it. So this is a squash that's already making a squash there. Matter of fact, there's two of them right there. So I'm already getting some squash. Here's another pepper plant. I think I've seen a pepper actually on one of those. I don't know if I can find which one it was. I think it's right there. Yeah, there it is. So there's a pepper plant that already has a pepper on it. That's a sweet banana pepper. Here's a tomato plant that I got caged up right here. And these are just remnants of some field fence that I had left over. I cut sections out of and I made my tomato cages out of it. Like this one here, this tomato plant, I just planted it today. So it's just now getting started, and I have some, you know, at this stage here. So varying stages of everything. I've got a cucumber planted right here. This fence is 8-foot fence. This is the deer fence. So this cucumber is going to be growing up an 8-foot trellis here. Same thing over here, it's 8 foot. Got a few weeds in here too, got to pick out, but not too bad. You know, you're gonna have a few weeds trying to grow in, but we'll pull those out real easy. So the garden's doing pretty good for, you know, me not working in it too much. I've really been neglecting the garden this year. I've been busy doing other things like fishing and stuff, and I really haven't put the time in the garden that I feel like I need to. So I'm going to spend this week mostly in the garden, trying to get everything finished up and planted out. But everything's doing pretty good. Let's walk over here to the worm bin. I'll put you guys back on the tripod here. There we go. Get you guys stood up here so I can dig in the worm bin. Show you guys my compost. So if you've been watching the channel here in the last month or so, you'll know that I like to fish. So I need to really be able to raise my own bait, which is what I've been doing here with this worm bin. Get this cardboard off of here, see what we got under here. So this is my worm farm / compost, vermicompost, where I'm raising my worms and providing my garden with a good compost. Ooh, look at this guy right here, right off the bat. Let me show you. Look at that one. That is a nice one there. But if you look at this compost, guys, nice and loose and dark and black it is. This is going to be great for my garden. There's another worm there. I've got a lot of worms in here. A lot of them are native worms that I've been digging out of the ground and putting in here, kind of getting everything established. There was a lot of small worms in here I seen yesterday, where I know they're reproducing. Here's one. There's a couple right there. So I know they're reproducing in here. Let me get these guys, try to show you. See those little worms there? So they are reproducing in there. I haven't really been fishing with a lot of these yet. I want to get the population built up. So I've still been buying worms from the store. There's one, look at that one. So I've still been buying worms from the store. Just trying to get the population built up in here before I start actually fishing with them. But a lot of nice worms in there. Let those guys do their thing. I'm adding manure, horse manure and the goat manure and stuff in here. This is just a box, a cardboard box that I got in there that helps hold moisture, and the worms like to get in it, get around it. It'll break down and it'll completely disappear at some point. Help keep the sun off of it and keep it moist. Of course, there's a lot of other life in here. You can see there's pill bugs and all kinds of other things that live in here. So I'm creating a lot of life. Microbes and all the stuff that live in soil. But I'm really happy with the way this is working out. I know that's going to be really good for my vegetables. And I'll just take a little bit of this and add to each one of those holes that I plant my okra in. There's one. Look at that one. Holy cow. Look at the size of that one, guys. I think that's a native worm that I dug up in my garden and put in here. There's some smaller ones. There's hundreds of them in here. Now make sure they all get covered up. There's a nice one. That guy right there will catch a fish, I promise you. I have to do a video showing me catching some fish with my worms that I raised. I'll just cover them up with the cardboard. So there you go, guys. That's a little look at the garden, what it's doing now. My little composting worm farm, vermicompost, whatever you want to call it. Uh-oh. I have to put the board back up there. All right, guys, I'm going to get the rest of this okra planted, or as much as I can today before I have to go to work. So hopefully when we get this all planted out here pretty soon, we're going to have some okra coming up, I think. Let me look over here. I should have some sprouting by now. I planted this out last week. Yeah, look right there. Here's one. All right. There we go, guys. There's my first okra right there. So we should see a lot of those popping up here pretty soon. I don't see any more. There's one. Yeah, there we go. There's one coming out right there, guys. So okra on the way. A lot more to be planted out. So there's an update on the garden. Really, like I said, I really neglected it so far this year. I was hoping to have all this stuff planted and everything done, but you know, sometimes things get in the way and priorities change. But I'm going to get this garden planted out eventually, and we're going to have us a pretty successful garden this year. So thanks for watching. I'll be back.